Freetown Television, and you're most welcome to our local news bulletin. First, we have a look at the headlines. Freetown City Council embarked on its 5th annual flood mitigation exercise in the east end of Freetown.
We need for ensure we declare the gutters in advance of the rains or reduce the risk of flooding. I don't do on 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. This year, we realize it's the same as every year.
Mohamed Madu Sise, a member of the main opposition of the Congress Party, declares his intention to run for the flag bearer position of his party.
I am declaring my candidacy to compete for the APC flag bearer for the 2023 presidential elections.
The Chief Executive, National Public Procurement Authority, Ibrahim Masole, emphasized the need for effective gauge allocation, which he says is at the heart of the current political administration agenda. And in sports, Fasale Tarawali, one of the key stakeholders in Bull Rangers Football Club, donates 500 million loans to the club, promised to give 1 billion loans if the club win next season.
Sometimes, last year, they make a pledge when I would say I will give the club 500 million if they win the trophy. And they are today for honor that pledge, for give the 500 million check.
All this making the headlines. And now the news in detail with me, Leonora Jawala. The Freetown City Council has on Saturday, 18 June, embarked on its 5th annual flood mitigation exercise in the east end of Freetown. Now, the exercise, which involves removing garbage and silt from gutters, culverts, and other waterways at flash flood point, and engaging communities on the need to have a registered waste service provider, is aimed at reducing the risk of flooding in areas that are prone to flooding during the rainy season. Adonis Francis reports.
Flood mitigation is part of Mayor's agenda to transform Freetown. Since she was elected as the mayor of Freetown City, this has been successful. Each rainy season, Freetown City Council will embark on Operation Clean the City, but this year's operation is largely held in the east end of the city, where flooding is a huge challenge due to high increase in population, deforestation, and many other activities. According to Her Worship the Mayor, this year's flooding is very challenging due to deforestation, which has caused the drainages at Taylor Street Kisi Bypass O Road to cover, whereby leading to flooding. She continued that even though this year the City Council had not received any allocation of funds from the central government, yet it is the responsibility of the council to keep the city clean, and that is why they are clearing and cleaning the Taylor Street drainages and others within the city. However, she noted that a team of Freetown City Council officials are going around the Kisi community educating people about the dangers of dumping garbages in the streets and the gutters, and also the need to register with a cleaning agent within the community.
Everybody knows, from 2018 where I come, I don't always say when rainy season come, we need for do flood mitigation. We need for ensure, we declare the gutters in advance of the rains or reduce the risk of flooding. I don't do on 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. This year, we realize, it's the same as every year. In fact, in some ways, it's even more challenging because we know, the deforestation, where it happen at the hills, it increase. Everybody, we don't listen to Mayor from 2018 to now, will know one thing we're always in talk. Urban planning, building permits, land use planning. This is something where you use to protect the environment. Because you for restrict who side any bill, so that you know go cut stick, where you cut the stick, where rain come, all the dirty the run can do. But in a see inside this gutter, where and I sabi this gutter very well. I don't see map inside this gutter where we don't clear them. You know the aid, the cover.
The Director of Disaster Rapid Response, Fudzi Agwawanu, said since the beginning of this year's rainy season, they have not recorded any major flooding disaster, noting that the city is segmented by the hills and the slums. However, the flood mitigation program helps in the free flow of the water in the drainages without causing any flooding within the community. However, he stated that Freetown City Council Metro Police will be monitoring communities to ensure that people do not dump waste in the streets and gutters, and whoever is found guilty will be prosecuted.
Of course, as we all know, Freetown, how the city dey, we get hill and then we get the valley. So most of the rubbles that they come on at the hills, they can flop the gutters then. And as a result, the gutter and the flop, then the water they go and treat. And eventually they go and people in the house. So because of that, they will say we can clear the gutter them, we don't stop up so that the water will get free passage. And when the water get free passage, the issue of flooding will be minimized.
Councillor Aisha Bangura of Ward 417, Constituency 119, said today's cleaning in her ward is as a result of Mayor's flood mitigation program to ensure that the city is clean, more especially in the rainy season. Councillor Sheku Al-Hassan Jibril Toure and Councillor Solomon Kamara also commented on the cleaning exercise.
This is what we've done the approach. SLRA and the contract RMFA supposed to go through council, but we not see them get council. We not get this water for the past 2 years. Now SLRA they make contract. And recently SLRA don't carry a can clean. As me may or just talk to now, where they left like 4-5 days where they come all sweep back to the streets. Most people in the street back, we get in the motor, the street can pack and junction. The mayor would have pack up for me the work council.
Freetown City Council with flood mitigation, we're not left the dirty at it. We're cognizant of the fact that when we pull the dirty out at it, if rain comes, it will wash them to the street or we put them back to the gutter. So we instant when we pull them at the street, we then ensure that we put them inside the truck stem for make them take and can go to the legal dump site. The work on at the Sinakisi Road, we take exception of that one. Because you're on an SLIA, that then government give that contract for let them able to do that work. Freetown City Council don't condemn that work 3 times without number for make them know so the work is not proper.
Government would expect them at least let them work with me as Freetown City Council, because we responsible for Freetown. What's in for Freetown, let them get to City Council, Freetown City Council. I believe say council are they responsible for cleaning gutter. Council are they work for make sure say we clean the markets them, we give the people the good road and make sure say we give them good market, we give them good environment inside them they live. Of course, we all know say we are people the way they clean dust. And if it's flooding there, we get right back for cleanup.
For Star News, Adonis Rasins reporting.
Mohamed Mahdi Sisi, a member of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, has over the weekend declared his intention to run for the flag bearer position of his party at a well-attended program at the township of Maboka with promises to bring in more development as well as uniting the party. Let's have a look.
There is victories for all in the struggles of APC. There is victory for us, oh yes, for us, oh yes. In the struggles of APC, there is victory.
Since losing the 2018 presidential election to the then main opposition Sierra Leone People's Party, the All People's Congress Party set up a 21-man committee to investigate about the reasons to this unfortunate occurrence. This move has, however, spurred the party to enact some drastic changes to its legislation and structure, hence posing some attributes of disunification. Aspiring presidential candidate for the APC party, Mohamed Mahid Cissé, promised to unify the party if he is elected as presidential candidate.
Today, I am declaring my candidacy to compete for the APC flag bearer for the 2023 presidential elections. I bring to you this afternoon a strong message of unity, hope, the return to normalcy in all aspects of governance in Sierra Leone. As leaders, whether in public office, in the private sector, the family, the workplace, the chiefdoms, schools, etc., we must be trustworthy and determined servants of those we lead. My theme for this candidacy is united to foster good governance through discipline, leadership, and job creation.
First and foremost, I want to bring peace within the APC party. I want to bring together everyone in the party, the membership, and develop a framework for having a candidate that will bring back peace to the party. I believe I have the qualities for that, to achieve that. I've been a member of the APC since over 20 years.
Mr. Cissé further promised citizens of all the information he can make if fortunate to be elected president of Sierra Leone.
My motivation is that I have this sense of purpose. I have gained experience both in the private and the public sector, and I believe that this is time for our generation to pursue leadership, and I have ideas that myself and a crop of my generational people can put together and bring this country back to where it was before. We have developed some new governance philosophies to be able to create 1.5 million jobs, which is our flagship program, and we want to grow enough rice so we can stop importing rice in the short and medium term, and the long term is to become an exporter again. I have all of these ideas, and in fact I have started some of this project with the former administration under President Nkrumah, where I was his special emissary. So I have developed quite a good number of contacts and, like I said earlier, experience both in the private sector and the public sector. In the private sector, of course, I created the concept of prepaid meters. I made it a product, make it successful, and today we all know that the prepaid meter had contributed greatly to the success of the stability of ETSA.
A number of stakeholders of Maboka appreciate Mahid Cissé for taking such venture, as he has been helpful to the people of Maboka.
Present for welcome big brother Udadi. We have everything. Say one be a flag bearer for 2023. When I saw the son of the Tongolele district as a whole, I was born at Mashibi. So any side where possible born now, you want some opposition for the Benin. Lord, put speed up for that, sir.
Mr. Darami, he said, when they cook na house, if I let mama pull it. When mama they pull it, you go barefoot not so. We can begin the process for una mama. Because this post will make Ukaya go on the same picture not so. And name na Muhammad Mahdi Cissé. Now una young mama na Tongolele Pikin. And for the first time, Tongolele go boast of a flag bearer because we know say a most big flag bearer of APC 2023.
And the people of Osapa under the APC that follow district, we know the power they come back at Tongolele in Jesus' name.
that we, one of the people suffer for peace in this country. And first, we either you believe it or not, through Mohammed Sise, the power will be restored back in Jesus' name.
The only road to victory for the All People's Congress Party in the 2023 presidential election is as me contesting for the highest office in the country, said Mohammed Mahid Sise. For Star News, compiled by Abdurrahman Kamara, read in the studio by Hassanatu Kamara.
During the Ibrahim Maswari's Quiz and Debating Championship held in Kailaun between secondary schools within the district against each other, in which the Pendembo Secondary School Kailaun emerged as best debating school, taking home a cash of 10 million. The Chief Executive, National Public Procurement Authority, Ibrahim Maswari, has emphasized the need for effective girl child education, which he reckoned is at the heart of the current political administration agenda, adding that the foundation will continue to provide the platform for girls to harness their potentials. Alfie Bailey was there, and he takes up the story.
This is how scores of schools who took part in the Ibrahim Maswari Foundation debate and quiz competition in a very frenzied atmosphere welcomed the Chief Executive of the National Public Procurement Authority, Ibrahim Maswari, at the famous Kailaun City Council. When speaking, Ibrahim Maswari reiterated government's commitment in providing all-inclusive education to all children in the country, noting that girl child education is at the pinnacle of President Bio's agenda. He further added that, as a member of the government, he feels obligated to be providing services to the people of the country, which he noted is a pact that he has to adhere to.
World, Sierra Leone not being an exception, the women are more than the men. And there's no country in the world that can develop without having women being side by side. So for Sierra Leone to be one of the bedrocks in terms of development, the first thing every Sierra Leonean needs to know is for us to be educated. And the future of this country lies in these kids' hands. Yeah. We've made a lot of mistakes. We've got war, we've got Ebola, we've got Corona. Now we want Sierra Leone to be remembered for education. And the only way we can do is by encouraging these kids to see education as a must. So when education is the must for the kids, especially the girl child, then Sierra Leone can move to the level that we want. And our mantra is to provide services for people. And that is the service I'm providing. If you want to give it any connotation, fine. But I'm part of SLPP, I'm SLPP, and I'm serving this government. So anything we can do to satisfy our people, that it makes a lot of sense for SLPP to be in governance, I will do. Mind you, the worst of SLPP is better than any other government in this country. So giving services to our people is a must, and we have to do it.
And the other good thing that came to all of us was immediately when he became president, the first lady of this country told everybody that he should hands off our girls. Allowing big men or aged people to hands off girls gives the opportunity to see how you girls can explore your potential.
The debate and quiz championship was a high-stakes affair, with kids in Kailaun Secondary School emerging as the best quiz team, while Pendembo Secondary School emerged as the best debating school.
Due to my own observations, the debate was so fantastic, it was so good, nice to look. This debate just tells us to study hard, because when you come here, if you do not try, next chance you go and study hard so that you also will be popular, will be able to do better things. So this debate is also teaching us to study, to take our books serious.
Debate is very nice and I love it because I'm seeing my colleagues, people participating in the debate and they are doing very well, especially for the girls. It teaches me a lot of things about the electronic and the traditional football.
The debate was very nice, it was very fantastic, and this debate learned us about what we can do in the future. As for my own understanding, the debate was very unique, it was very marvelous.
For Star TV News in Freetown, Alfie Barrow reporting.
Senior management at the Rokel Commercial Bank, as a show of patriotism, undertook a cleaning exercise at the Lumley Beach axis, describing their effort as environmentally driven and promised to undertake similar exercise in the future. Star TV was in attendance and brings highlights of the event.
It's a close contact with the Lumley youth and Juba youth as part of our corporate social responsibility for community development and empowerment. As we say, cleanliness is left to godliness. And we want to support government in environmental development and also to ensure that this community, is clean and tidy. It's part of our development strategy, community work. We have been doing it and will continue to do more. Until Lumley Juba is another development. We are planning to do more. We will identify other areas that require short development. I will try our best through by the help of our visionary leader, dynamic MD, Gilprin, and the deputy and other directors. We would love to give back to our society. This is Sierra Leonean Bank, and we believe we should find ways to support development. Well, I think we've started something today which we believe they should continue. We'll continue to engage them and give them the necessary support. Because we engage the chairman and other youths, the youths, we need to capture their minds to see that these are countries. And we should try our development in our own local areas. Let's keep our community decent and nice. And let's do it maybe on a monthly basis. We don't need to wait for government to order. Let's start on our own little way. As a bank, we love to inspire the youth and we support them in this development side.
In one day, one bank be big. This bank, now the bank will be big. Now which one them they run? This bank be named Barclays Bank. As the bank they go before, then that barrack can the country. Then the witman they say, we don't tire, we don't afraid, we dey go. Then they go. But when they go, they say, look this country, let me give them this bank. But the bank we get forgive them through arrangements. Then the country people they say, well, not giving the bank now. They say, how much we could pay for this bank? They say, I pay $1. And then give the people then the witman, they $1, the witman and go. And they left this bank. They call the bank. He come out from, he turned to, a lot of places to go before. And this bank, they become Rokel Commercial Bank. They get this name because he get one river and a salon with him. And this river they run from the north straight down to me. They run across this country. So they say this bank has been set for run. If we go outside and the country name, and because this bank for powerful. The story say one is the bank for come out inside salon, they go back now order. Then how you they come out now? They come inside. They can bank come on now. They come inside. That's what the bank for come on now. They go inside. That's one for all you. And that's the thing happen. Once they push the story go before, the bank they watch. The watch, now when the bank begins tire. The bank begins tire. The bank begins tire. The bank won't die. Then that's in the government say, never make this bank die. So put some money inside this bank, there will no shame. So the government around then 2018, 2015, they put money inside the bank, when the bank will give it back again. So the bank, you know, like when they say, like, Kodo one die, they shake it in. Now they tell me they shake. Because when put money inside the bank, begin, not the hit back. Not the hit back, small, they give it back again. The story they go. Nice more income, so many Kodo begin to rap again. Yes. But 2017 now, we are not made at this bank. I know that this bank from where small. 2017, they bring me inside this bank. They go to interview, they say we look for person for working at the sector, and they pick me, they can put me inside this bank. Yes. When I come inside this bank, I mean, for good people in there. Like this will not get every day. In a time when you get an institution, when they bank, when they come in the common people in the area, when they make people that become uncommon. Because why? Once we empower our corona set become somebody, we will look forward to it tomorrow. We will look for belief for say, I believe in me, sir. For say, I'm somebody, I can be somebody, and I will be somebody. Don't look to them and say, not always say every day, I'm your time so. Look for say you can sound better. Because why? You get something inside you that can make it happen. I hope. You need a reason to leave. This is your bank. It's a surrounding bank. The bank where they get good profits, where they get good figures, the bank where they get good ideas, where they grow, and not the bank where I need to. Whatever UBA can do, EcoBank can do, Citibank can do, Zenith Bank can do, Access Bank can do, we can do it too. Around the community area, but I keep on playing. Just as you clean the community, you want to clean your minds, clean your minds, clean your bodies, clean your brains, and put in there success, put in there courage, put in there effort, put in your brain hard work. Today, you can start a new life. God bless you, we love you. Keep on you progressing.
Just joined us, you're watching the local news bulletin here on Star TV. Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, during a conducted tour at the Leon Rock Metal Group, has commended the group for what he called the impressive investment. A driving rooted resonates with the government's broader vision in harnessing the potentials of the extractive industry. Alfie Barry has more.
This conducted on the site tour, according to the Director, CEO's office, Salim Silla, is commendable as it will give key stakeholders an impressive on-the-side grasp of the investment they are making.
Happy that the Vice President visited our mine site to look at our investment and the progress we've made so far with the project, because it's good for the national stakeholders to not only read about what we are doing on newspaper or see on television or listen on radio. When they come physically on our mine site, normally it gives us satisfaction. Very important for investors generally when you have major, key stakeholders, decision makers coming to projects, because it gives us confidence for them to know what we are doing and to know our plans and to know the next investment moves that we want to do. But we should not also forget that majority of the assets on Tonkonili ore mine are government assets. When we took over this asset, they were mostly broken. Even the train that's running now, it wasn't running. It could even have run when we took it over. But we invested our money to be able to restore the train. Now it's running. The VP can see that. Now the plant is running. The VP can see that. The mining side, all other assets that are on the mine side, it belongs to the government. So the government, honestly, we also want to see how we are taking care of this asset they handed over to us. So he is very impressed that we've done very good in handling those assets. We made it even better than when we took over them. But also we are able to explain to him the next other phases that we want to do, the investment that we want to do, the employment that we want to generate. We're not talking of far, we're talking of 1-2 years time. We talk about, we are also intending to establish a steel plant in the near future, which will actually lead to the start of industrialization in this country.
The Honorable Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, when speaking at the processing site of the Leon Rock in Tonkonili district, commended the group for their massive investment, noting that the investment sits well with the vision of the President to making the mining sector attractive, reiterating government's commitments in passing progressive mining laws that brings about effective governance architecture in the industry.
The second is the processing site. Now we are at the loading site, and I'm very, very happy and impressed with the progress that has been made, because what I've seen here fits directly into the vision of His Excellency the President to improve the mining sector in this country. so that to make the mining sector very attractive. And what we did when we came in as a government was to reorganize the mining sector, particularly to focus on how do we improve the governance architecture within the mining sector so that we can attract the right companies to come and do business in Sierra Leone. And in that is why we pushed in for a new Mines and Minerals Act that has no doubt made us competitive in terms of attracting the right mining company. But what I saw here this morning, and now, and believe me, I am impressed that what we put on paper, what we have been trying to do as a government to reflect the vision of His Excellency is what is on ground. I am impressed the level of investment this Leo Rock Mining Group has done. They have invested millions of dollars. They have taken this mining site, which was a couple of years ago, was almost defunct. They have put it back on the right footing. I went to the mining site, the first site. I was given all the explanation, the various stages, the first phase, the second phase, what they are doing. And in more impressive ways that I'm happy because they have bigger vision to invest more. Today, we have a site that is functional. We have a processing site that is functional. We have a loading site, as you can see, the wagon. And the PEPEL, I come from the PEPEL is also very active. They have created employment. I saw a lot of young Sierra Leoneans, engineers, security, and workers. Here in Zoba, we are talking about over 1,000 employment that has been created. And they are also going to increase their tax to government revenue in this mining, particularly this mining group is going to be increased. And I'm much more happy that also the level of investment that they envisage to do.
The community coordinator, Ansu Momo, described the VP's visit as a vote of confidence, stating that the government has laid the right policy framework for mining companies to thrive.
One is a huge vote of confidence in the operational activities of our company. More especially 3 weeks ago, His Excellency, the first gentleman, was here to formally launch the Community Development Fund. And that's the first time a Community Development Fund has been paid to the mining communities. Of confidence from us. But before actually going to the importance of that, it's very important for us as a company to actually express our appreciation to the government for providing us a conducive environment for us to invest and for us providing us security of tenure, because that's very important for us as investors, because if you don't have the right policy framework, you don't invest the money. So from that perspective, we are very happy. But the presence actually is very reassuring for us as a company.
For Star TV News in Freetown, Alfie Barry on the news.
And finally, in sports. Now, Fasali Tawali, one of the key stakeholders in Bull Rangers Football Club, has donated 500 million to the club and promised to give 1 billion if the club win next season. Here is Elton John with more update.
As part of his promise to Bull Rangers Football Club, a business tycoon in the country and also key stakeholder in Bull Rangers football team, Fasali Tawali has presented a 500 million check to the chairman of Bull Rangers Football Club in the official dinner of the club as a sign of appreciation to their supporters, stakeholders and board members. According to Fasali Tawali, if Bull Rangers Football Club retain the Sierra Leone Premier League next season, it will provide 1 billion for the team. Here is the report.
We stand with our mindset to defend the land of Hamas. Warriors, we reach from the top to the top. United we push and go to achieve the common goal. Warriors, we never fall. From the land of the bad boys down to the land of Sierra River. Warriors, victory is ours.
The only Premier League club in the southern region that was founded in 1954, Bull Rangers Football Club, has over the weekend concluded a foot parade and also a dinner of several appreciation to the fans, supporters, stakeholders, and the Board of Governors. According to the chairman of Bull Rangers Football Club, Babadi Kamara, he promised the club that he will fulfill 3 assignments: winning the Sierra Leone Premier League, constructing a clubhouse, and qualify the team to the African Champions League. Babadi Kamara said he's overwhelmed with the support from football stakeholders who graciously attended the program and always tried to see the development of Southern Region team, Bo Rangers, who won the Sierra Premier League unprecedented.
You know, when Waterman set target, set objective, and God bless you and achieve those objectives, you should be grateful and should be happy about it. This is special because when I took over Bo Rangers, I listed 3 key objectives. And today, we are all here to celebrate the achievement of the last objective that I set 2 years ago. But before going into that, you know, I see people they make statements and somebody made reference say this is our first trophy or the win.
On his part, the team manager of the club, Abdul Karim Bangura, commonly called AKB, said this is the biggest achievement the club has achieved over the years, winning the Sierra Premier League. He lauded the efforts of the executive chairman, Babadi Kamara, for changing the facelift of football in the southern region.
Chairman Babadi, thank you very much for bringing Sierra Leone Premier League to Botham for the first time in our history. And we hope and pray this is the first of many that is to come. Chairman Babadi is a visionary leader. He's an indefatigable chairman, result-oriented man, and in decision-making prowess, top-notch. I'm sure that is what attracted the board of directors to bring him on board.
Minister of Sports Ibrahim Yelenke said this is what President Biya wants to see, development in the country. He said with this timely support from the chairman of Bo Ranger Football Club, Babadi Kamara, and his executive, reforming the team, this is one of the greatest achievements. He encouraged more other teams to copy from Bo Rangers. Vice President 1 of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Arona Johnson, said the Football Association will continue to support teams who are developing. He congratulated Bo Ranger Football Club for their unprecedented win in the Sierra Leone Premier League and wished them all the best in the upcoming African Champions League. Since 2017, teams have failed to represent the country in the continental competition, but this time Bo Rangers are set and they are ready and they meet the criteria to represent Sierra Leone. Businessman and philanthropist Fasale Terali presented a check of 500 million yuans to the executive chairman of Bo Rangers, Babadi Kamara, during the Rangers organized dinner on Saturday in Bo. This is in fulfillment of the promise he made to the team upon winning the 2021-2022 Sierra Leone Premier League. Bo Rangers were crowned champions of the Sierra Leone Premier League with unprecedented 78 points, with the biggest margin of 16. During the open of the Rangers clubhouse in May last year, Fasale Terali pronounced a pledge of 500 million yuans if the team won the league. Apart from the promise fulfilled, Fasale Terali has been one of the key supporters of the clubhouse project, giving cash support and food items, including 100 bags of rice, onions, refined oil.
For say thanks to everybody who come here today for can support me and support the club. Sometimes last year we make a pledge when I would say I will give the club 500 million if they win the trophy. And they are today for honor that pledge, for give the 500 million check. I then have to give the check to the club. And I hand over to my brother, when I'm Mr. Babadi, when I'm a friend and a brother. Then I want to assure and say, somebody will talk say, now first time this for win the cup. Well, at the mistake we don't make, we not be no saying that so sweet. Now we don't winner, we will always want for winner, and we will continue for winner. So, need to tell the club say back. The time we begin the league, I will give 100 bag rest and 100 of every other item where this long. Today, I will tell the team say, and the club with fans, the one that will hate we, the one that will like we, say more support the camp. I will pledge Naya say for this season I will give 500 bag rest with 500 of every other item one. Then, but count everything now. And I believe so, they maintain the trophy. When we win next season, I will give 1 billion euros.
He also went on to express his total commitment to the team in the upcoming years. The rapid transformation he added of this club to become a powerful house in sailing football is just a little amount of time is quite palatable. As a brother, he concludes, I need to commend Babadi Kamara for that and will want to promise my commitment of more support to Bull Rangers Football Club. He noted that the club need more support, and if they win the CLM Premier League coming this season, it will give the team 1 billion euros. And also, it will provide the amount of 500 bags of rice, an increase of 50% of other items. In another development, Fasale Teroli also surprisingly signed one of CLM finest musicians and president of All Stars, Collabo, as brand ambassador of his mining company, Hard Rock Mining, for 100 million euros. For Star TV Sports in Freetown, I am Ilton John reporting.
So once more, congratulations to Bull Rangers Football Club, the entire executive, headed by the chairman, Babadi Kamara, and the team manager, who is Abdul Bangura, is commonly called AKB, and the players and officials winning the CLM Premier League unprecedented, the first time in history, since the club was founded in 1954, and also to the business tycoon, Fasale Teroli, giving support to the Bull Rangers Football Club.
Many thanks to your team, and thank you for watching. That's all we have for you today in our local news bulletin. I am Leonela Jawola. Stay with us for more interesting programs coming up.